In 1969, one film dared to take boobs into the third dimension, and that film was The Stewardesses 3D. The Stewardesses 3D is a 1969 sexploitation film from director Allan Silliphant. Not just regular 3D, super 3D with erotic sound. Although for the sake of everyone's eyes, I'll be showing the 2D version. The movie begins on the beach. Captain Brad is shunning his flying duties to hang out with the ladies. After not finding him at the bar, the co-pilot drags him back to the airport. Time to sober up, Chief. They're going to be late for their flight, but Wendy is busy doing loud yoga. A very nice sailor is helping her with her form. This is Hawaii, and I imagine in 1969, it had to be pretty amazing. I mean, look at this guy. He can barely contain his joy. Samantha is checking out Not Dick Sargent in the gift shop. The passengers load up in the plane on their way to San Francisco. Captain Brad is getting the plane off the ground. Well, he gets the stock footage off the ground. Given the time period, this is 100% appropriate.
Bring on the sexy stews, man! Yeah!
Wendy Blake, Kathy Harris, Tina Andrews, and Samantha Howard.
The stewardesses really go above and beyond to make sure the passengers are happy.
Why don't you let me take you out tonight and show you a good time on the town?
Great, I really like that.
The captain's seat looks more like a Barco lounger. He calls back to the crew to send the new girl to the front of the plane. The captain then gives the new girl her orientation. Well, I guess that's why they call it a cockpit. She bumps the intercom, so now everyone can hear them fooling around. Although no one seems to be worried about who's flying the plane. Man, the 60s was a wild time. The stewardess goes back to work. I'm surprised the passengers didn't applaud. I just got laid, folks! The stewardesses are passing out drinks, and look at how amazing flying used to be. 2 giant comfy seats next to each other, and stewardesses that sit in your lap and give you drinks. Now we get shoved into a tin can like sardines, where a fight could break out at any moment. Remember, airline commercials used to be like this.
I'm Judy, and I was born to fly. Fly me to Houston. Nashville has non-stop DC-10s every day. Or fly me to New Orleans on the only DC-10s. You can fly me morning, afternoon, or night. Just say when. I'm Judy, and I was born to fly. Fly me.
Fly Judy. Fly National.
Not even a little bit subtle. Colin asks for a martini and turns on the charm.
We'll be serving dinner in about an hour. Would you like to look at a menu?
I'd much rather look at you. You're very pretty.
Now that they landed, the stewardesses have some lighthearted banter. They get in their tiny cars and drive home. Samantha is getting ready for her date with Colin. She tells her friend that he's the head of an ad agency, so she's seeing dollar signs. Back at the stewardesses' headquarters, holy nudity, Batman! In between flights, they just sit around naked? Must remember, these women are now all grandmothers in 2025. Oh boy, they haven't invented the Brazilian yet. That's a lot of labia. Looks like Fidel Castro eating a London broil. This hair color style would absolutely fit in today. Tina still lives with her parents, who are out for the night. While in the house alone, oh, what to do.
I'll take some acid.
Sure, why not? Jersey-made milk? That's a new one. Over at the club, the stewardesses are on the prowl. The club looks like it's made up entirely of junk that's usually on the walls of a TGI Fridays. I don't know if a painting of an explosion is what you want at a club that's frequented by airline pilots. Wait a minute. That's the painting from the card backs of G.I. Joe figures. They get liquored up and listen to the band that's fronted by a 12-year-old. Colin and Samantha go on their date. They go to the restaurant, and damn, he's smooth.
Your usual table, sir?
Yes, if you will, please.
His usual table?
Someone ass getting laid tonight.
After what I can only assume is an expensive dinner, they have some small talk, accompanied by more booze.
A wine connoisseur. I like that in a man.
No, you don't. What woman is like, oh, he really knows his wine? Samantha then reveals she's in this for her career.
The truth is, I've always wanted to be an actress, and I thought you could help me.
Well, I think I can get you in a low-budget sexploitation about stewardesses. How does that sound? She then rambles on.
Even when I was 8 years old, we used to do plays at my house.
And on.
My hair was really long and blonde,
And on.
I had a pony.
No, I'm sure he wants to know all about your pony. Colin then tells her about his current commercial contract.
It's just a pretty face with a camera zooming in and out on the mouth.
What's wrong with my mouth?
Well, my dear, words keep coming out of it. They leave the restaurant and head to his room. She looks around, and since this is 1969, I imagine she can't understand just how ugly this place is. Oh, wow. It's all green and brown. Next time she'll need to borrow some of Tina's acid. She heads to the kitchen, where there's plastic fruit but real booze. All right, Sam, it's time to put that mouth to good use. Your future depends on it. What guy has a giant picture of himself? Back at Tina's house, it's shower time. I guess she's trying to clean the captain off of her. She's brushing her hair right when the acid kicks in. So here starts the great freakout. What in the hell? She's so messed up, she has sex with a headlamp, which goes on for 5 whole minutes. Don't do drugs, kids. Tina calls Captain Brad. It's hours after the flight and they're still wearing their uniforms. She wants to see him, so he tells her to get a cab over to his place. Okay, Captain Chad. Back at the club, the stewardesses put on their other uniforms. I guess this is their party attire. They play pool while the camera focuses on their legs. Oh, here's some of that 3D. The girls totally hustle these guys out of their money. Oh no, 3D bunions! Captain Brad is finally out of his uniform. Tina arrives at his place for a rousing game of Parcheesi. He mixes a drink in a giant bong. Dude, she just took a cab to your place. I don't think you need to get her drunk. Cindy calls Captain Brad for a booty call, but she's a few hours too late. So she's gonna have to stay home and not have sex, I guess. Who am I kidding? She's gonna go digging for clams in 3D. Meanwhile, 2 sips in and it's time for sex. I can't show you this, but 3D boobs. Captain Brad then remembers all the stewardesses he's nailed in the past, which is pretty much the entire cast. It's no wonder everyone had the hep back then. Now it's time for a roller coaster. At a local amusement park, everyone's having a good time. 3D stuff! Oh no, Manos! Dr. Blood! El Duce! The more I watch this, the more I feel like I'm the one on acid. Back at the bar, the girls are getting good and hydrated. It's getting late, so they start to pair off. These two head to the sex lounge, and they can't even make it there. Oh, I'm sorry, sex dungeon. And so they get right to it. The other pilot finds them, and I guess he's mad because this guy stole his hussy for the night, so he beats him with a chair. The other girls head back to their apartment. Since they couldn't pick up any men, they decide it's time to switch teams. Olé! Well, the 60s was about free love and liberation and the clap. Back at the club, young Stacy Keach is finally getting some. What's this sex toy?
I won't ask you what you do with this thing.
After 30 minutes of people having sex, and I'm not kidding, Colin and Samantha are dancing. Samantha looks at the other models and immediately craps all over them.
Well, they're pretty, but they're no prettier than I am.
She's trying to get Colin to give her a modeling job, and he tells her the truth.
Can I?
No.
He then gives her a good lecture about earning your way to the top as opposed to sleeping your way there. Colin's tired of his job and says he wants to take a vacation, even though he just got back from vacation. He then remembers that he owns a boat, and so they plan to go on vacation. He tells her he has this huge contract for a mouth model, and she convinces him to quit his job. Wasn't he just calling her young and stupid like 5 minutes ago? Now they're gonna sail around the world, and she's gonna be his new mouth model for this $65,000 contract. Even though she repeatedly told him that she was in this for her career, he suddenly realizes that she's in this for her career. So he gives her an ultimatum. It's either him or the commercial.
You want the commercial, don't you? All right. You got the damn thing. But after tonight, you won't have me. You better think about it.
She's now realizing that this is not exactly what she wants, so she decides to mull it over while they do it. However, this sex is so bad it makes Sam rethink her entire life. The movie then becomes a horror film. I mean, listen to the audio. Samantha decided she made a terrible decision, so she does something completely rational. Instead of deciding if she should stay with him or leave for the job in the commercials, she kills Colin in his sleep and jumps 30 floors to her death. The end. What? How bad was the sex? The Stewardesses was shot in San Diego, California for about $100,000. Believe it or not, the film, as silly as it was revolutionary. The director, Allan Silliphant, his older brother Sterling, and the cinematographer Chris J. Condon created a single 3D camera system. Previously, 3D films needed to be shot with 2 cameras, and theaters needed 2 projectors in order to show the film. They founded Century Precision Optics, a company that would make these revolutionary new StereoVision 3D cameras. The new system was easier to use, and since it only relied on 1 camera, it made it more economical. The camera system was then used to great lengths during the 3D explosion of the 1980s to shoot movies like Friday the 13th 3D and Jaws 3D. The airport scenes were shot at LAX, and the interior airplane scenes were shot in a real airplane. In the club, there was a band playing. One of the musicians was a very young Paul Shortino, who would, years later, become the lead vocalist for the glam band Rough Cut. This should come as no surprise, but there was no script, just a general outline. So most of the story was made up on the fly. The film was originally just sex scenes and a very basic plot. Even in this form, the film was doing well. So the director and producer filmed some new scenes which added dramatic elements to the film. They put together this whole plot line of one of the stewardesses chasing after an ad executive in the hopes of kickstarting her acting career. They shot the new scenes in 1971 and re-edited the film to give it an R rating for a wider release. Christine Hart played Samantha, and this was her first role. Her story, along with Colin, was filmed after the rest of the film and then edited in. The movie is essentially a softcore film with drama sprinkled in. Apparently Hart didn't know that, so when she took her mother to the premiere, she was a little embarrassed. Hart went on to do a lot of TV like Ironside, Happy Days, and Three's Company. When the film was re-released, it was incredibly successful. In September through October of 1971, it spent 3 weeks as the highest-grossing film in the U.S. On a $100,000 budget, it made over $26 million. This made it the most profitable 3D film of all time until it was dethroned in 2009 by Avatar. The Stewardesses is boobs. Lots and lots of boobs. And also butts. I'd say it even gives Andy Sidaris a run for his money. My idea for the video about bad movies with crazy endings stemmed from this movie. Here's this goofy, lighthearted sex flick that ends in a murder-suicide. No way was anyone expecting that. This is one of the weirdest films out there. Never before has a film ended with more confused boners in 3D.
What's wrong with my mouth?